All of us will hit a point in our life when it actually starts costing us more to keep working instead of retiring. The question is, how do we figure out when that time is? Well, today I'm going to share 5 reasons it may be time for you to retire. Hi, I'm Kenney, Wealth Advisor with the Noble Group. I've been helping people with retirement for the last 20 years. Now, before we get right into it, I want to emphasize that this is not an anti-work video. Many people love what they do. Oftentimes we find purpose, structure, and personal fulfillment in our career. And of course, we all need a paycheck. But there comes a time when both the financial and non-financial benefits of continuing to work begin to shrink. And then it flips. Instead of work adding to your life, it starts taking away from it. So how do you know when you've reached that point? Well, reason number 1 is you're realizing that time is starting to become more valuable to you than money. Early in your career, money is the priority. You have decades ahead of you, but limited savings. You trade time for income because income builds freedom. But at some point, the equation changes. You may now have enough savings, enough income potential, enough margin. And when that happens, time becomes your most valuable asset. Money is renewable. Even if you lose it, you can earn more. You can rebuild. You can adjust. Time is not renewable. Once it's gone, it's gone. I've worked with many people who retired later than they originally planned because they assumed they would have plenty of time once they stopped working. But unfortunately, some of them experienced serious health issues just a couple years into retirement, and a few of them passed away much sooner than anyone expected, including themselves. In those final conversations, no one wished they had worked longer. They wish they had more time. Now, obviously, this is all very heavy, but it's something I really want you to think about. Because if you're financially ready to retire and continuing to work is simply increasing a number that you may never ultimately need, well then, what is the opportunity cost of another year working? Is it another year of travel you delay? Another year of time with grandchildren? Another year you could have focused on your health? Another year you could have pursued something meaningful outside of work? At some point, the value of time exceeds the value of incremental income. Recognizing that shift is often the first sign it may be time for you to retire. Now, you may be saying, well, Jared, I think I'm in a good financial place to retire, but is there a way for me to be more confident in that decision? And there is. You can get a second opinion from us for free at the end of the video, so stick around to learn more. Now, the second reason why it may be time to retire is that you're realizing your health is paying the price. Work does not just take time. It can also take a lot of your energy. It may mean you're skimping on sleep. It could be straining you mentally and emotionally. For a lot of working professionals, the final 5 to 10 years of their career are also the most demanding. These are often peak earning years. Leadership roles, bigger responsibilities, larger stakes, and with that often comes a lot of stress. Chronic stress has real consequences: cardiovascular issues, anxiety, burnout, poor sleep, weight gain, inflammation, declining mental clarity. Many retirees tell me the exact same thing within a year or so of leaving their career. They say they did not realize how stressed they actually were until they stepped away. Retirement gave them space to breathe. Now, obviously, I'm not saying you should retire just because work feels hard right now. But if you're noticing that your job is consistently costing you sleep, energy, physical health, or mental health, that is not a small trade-off. Remember, you can always rebuild wealth. Rebuilding health is much harder because your healthiest years are not unlimited. If you retire with money but without energy, well, that's not really a win. So if stepping away from work would allow you to maybe exercise more consistently or reduce stress, improve sleep, and extend your health span, that may be one of the most valuable returns on an investment available to you. Sometimes retirement is less about stopping work and more about reclaiming your health. Reason number 3 is you're realizing you want more time with the people who matter. If you work 40 to 50 hours per week, commute several hours, manage household responsibilities, and handle everyday life tasks, how much time is truly left for meaningful relationships? Not just seeing people, but meaningful time. Time without distractions or exhaustion or looking at your phone and thinking about tomorrow's big work meeting. The quality of your relationships largely determines the quality of your life. I'm not saying that working automatically means that you're not able to spend enough time with the people you care about. But if you start to realize that your work schedule is consistently preventing you from attending family events, traveling with your spouse, helping your adult children, being present for aging parents, or deepening friendships, then work may be costing you something you cannot get back. The other thing you have to remember is the people in your life are aging too. Your parents will not always be here. Your children will not always live nearby. Your grandchildren will grow up faster than you can blink. There are seasons of life that only happen once. So if you are financially prepared and still postponing retirement, you may be sacrificing relationships that cannot be postponed. Reason number 4 is that your best years are not infinite. When someone says they may live till 90, yeah, that sounds like a long time. If they're 62, they've got 28 more years, almost 3 decades worth of life left. But the part that often gets overlooked is that those 28 years are not equal. Your early 60s will not be the same as your mid-80s. Energy changes, mobility changes, recovery changes, risk tolerance changes. There's a difference between lifespan and health span. Health span is the number of years you are physically and mentally able to do things you want to do. Maybe that's traveling around the world, hiking, playing golf, taking road trips, starting a new project, learning something new. Those peak active years tend to cluster earlier in retirement. If you delay retirement 5 extra years just to add a bit more to your savings or to get a larger Social Security check, you have to ask yourself what those 5 years represent. They may be your most energetic years. They may be the years when your spouse is the healthiest, the years when travel is easiest, the years when you feel the most physically or mentally capable. Now, I'm not telling you to retire recklessly. It is about recognizing that even if you live a long life, the window for doing certain things is more narrow than the overall timeline suggests. Another 5 years of work is not just 5 years. It may be 5 of the best years you have. And finally, reason number 5, you're financially ready but emotionally hesitant. I've seen this countless times. A lot of people reach financial independence but struggle to let go of work because work has become part of their identity. And it makes perfect sense. Maybe you've been doing this job for decades. You are known for it. You are respected for it. It structures your week. It provides social interaction. It gives you direction. Even if you are financially ready, walking away from all of that can feel uncomfortable. So instead of evaluating whether work still serves their long-term vision, some people continue simply because it feels familiar. Now, there's nothing wrong with continuing to work if you love it, but there is a big difference between working because you choose to and working because you are afraid not to. If your retirement plan supports your lifestyle, if your income streams are sufficient, if your long-term projections look solid, and you are only continuing to work because you don't know what comes next, that may be a sign. Retirement doesn't mean that you're going from working to doing nothing. It just means you're redirecting your time toward things you intentionally choose. Some people retire and consult part-time. Some volunteer, start small businesses, travel more, focus on health, or invest in relationships. Financial readiness should create freedom. And if you are financially ready but continuing to work purely out of inertia, it may be time to seriously evaluate what you want your next chapter to look like. So retirement is not simply a numbers decision. It is a life decision. Yes, you need financial readiness. You need a sustainable income plan. You need clarity on taxes, Social Security, and an investment strategy. But once those boxes are checked, the decision is about something much bigger. Time, health, relationships, energy, purpose. At some point, continuing to work will cost you more than it gives you. So if you are resonating with these 5 reasons, it's time to get a free second opinion on whether your finances are ready to support your retirement. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. After letting us know about your unique situation with a brief survey, You can schedule a free virtual review where we look at your level of readiness based on your income, your investments, your Social Security strategy, and your long-term goals. Thanks for watching.